glad you guys are here. Yeah, it's late, and we're very excited about that. And so, Kenny, unless you have anything else to say, maybe we can bring Hitesh out here and let him work his magic.
Hey Trent, remember when we first started DSD and it was just a bunch of videos back there, no software or anything, no
Yes.
tools? And
Yeah.
it was $19.95 a month for Pro, and they have been just continuing to put more and more and more stuff back there, never raising prices on us, just continuing to give more value. And the thing about it is, and I was just thinking about this today, there truly is no other group of men that we are privileged to work with that create these systems and these educational platforms and things that we can actually make an income from without recruiting. But it's so easy to recruit into them because you know that the people that you bring in are going to make money. So it's just unique and amazing, and I could not be more proud to be a part of this company and to help the vision of both DS Domination and Options Domination.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, like you said, everything that's back there, like from a starting point of where we're at with the Options Domination, it's just beyond, way beyond. To me, it's like light years ahead. I mean, DS was awesome. It was an awesome launch, but it just seems like even with this one, it's just so much more farther along, it's just really exciting. So I'm stoked.
Yeah, the videos, if you guys haven't seen the videos yet, they're amazing. I mean, to be honest, I was getting a lot of messages and phone calls today, so I would start watching a training video and have to stop and start and stop. So I haven't gotten very far, but I have watched several of them, and I am so excited. I cannot wait. I told Alessandro that, he and I might have to have 2 separate accounts because I want to trade just as much as he does.
The other thing too that I think is really awesome about what's laid out before us with the option stuff is, if you guys are really smart and you follow along with the training and stuff that Hitesh and Kevin and these guys have put together back there, guys, there's a really big possibility for you to do some incredible numbers trading on this platform. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the webinar that we did, the corporate webinar or whatever, when Hitesh was showing you guys the mathematical formulas. It's just amazing to me, that you can be at the win rates that he was showing and still profit like crazy. So, like on the legacy level, the managed trading accounts, to me, I'm definitely tackling that. I mean, it's just you can really do some damage in here if you guys really take this serious, and I'm kind of counting on this to be like my retirement, to be quite honest with you. So, I mean, between this and FBA and DS Domination, it's an unstoppable formula. So, I could talk on that about it, honestly. Yeah. But.
So the flow, we want to ask Kevin and Hitesh a few questions, but ultimately we're going to let them take it over, and then we'll ask them a few questions. Those of you, I think everybody on here knows who Kevin and Hitesh are, but just in case you don't, I don't know. There might be some people who just got started and just had a link or whatever, but Kevin and Hitesh are both co-owners of DS Domination, which is a different company, but Options Domination, Hitesh he's really responsible for the infrastructure and everything that you see on the website, and just the whole system of Options Domination. It was his idea, and Kevin has been he's a legend marketer, co-owner of DS Domination, and he's been actually in working the Options Domination side, doing the trades, testing the system, getting everything in place. So he's actually an affiliate as well of Options Domination, so he's planning on growing a team here. You guys, we're going to turn it over to you, and we do want to ask you some questions though, but go ahead and take the mic.
Thank you. We were kind of concerned we were never getting out here.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
I like to talk.
Yes, no, it's
That's
totally
great.
fine. I was like, oh, now she'll bring out Alessandro, and then that's
Yeah.
gonna be about 15 minutes,
I
and
almost did.
the, it's fine. It was just kind of this is just how I am at webinars. I'm usually a very, very strange character on webinars. So if I say something kind of absurd or you guys are like, is this guy serious? I'm probably not when if I say something weird. So well, like you guys said, it's been very exciting because this has been a relatively very smooth launch, especially given the fact that we had about 120,000 accounts that we are beginning the whole thing with, compared to starting out a company where you have 10 people that you begin with, and then everybody starts joining during the launch time. You kind of have any issues that crop up, it affects maybe 5 people, and then you can fix it before it goes crazy. So over here we obviously had less margin for error, I guess, and it's worked out really, really well. And part of that is obviously because the leaders that we have, like you guys, you've done an exceptional job with running your teams and maintaining communication across the board, and it's just been really, really good. It's actually been very exciting to watch how the whole organization has grown and behaved since DS Domination. And to me, that's the most exciting part. We actually, you might have noticed, Kevin actually put out a message in our leaders group, and something that for all of you who are just attendees, you might not realize, we have, all the leaders, as in people who have, a significant number of people as an affiliate in their teams, or even people who don't have a very large team but have been extremely helpful and have some impact with the entire user base. We really like to, include them in major decisions. We like their feedback and so on. And it's very interesting to observe, because vast majority of the leaders in this company, if you think about, they're really competitors with each other, right? Because they're all competing out there to get the most number of sales or bring people in. And most of them will work together with no concern for this person is my competitor. They're all working together to make sure that everything is going the best way possible for the whole user base. So it's actually very, very exciting to see. It's one of the reasons why we were like, oh, you guys want a webinar with us? We absolutely will do a webinar with the Dream Team. And it's really a privilege to be working with you guys, and really a privilege to be at this webinar as well. And Kevin, I'm sure, has some very nice things to say as well. So Kevin, if you want to compliment them like we have to, it's the obligatory thing.
Like we have to.
Go on to real stuff.
All right, I got my list of compliments that I have to throw out there by default. How's everybody doing? How's the Dream Team doing in here? You guys doing all right? Yeah. So I'm pretty excited. Me and Hitesh are going on quite a while without sleep, and I couldn't be more excited to be here. Why? Because Trenya and Kent and Alessandra, what they're doing here is amazing.
Trenya.
Yeah, Trenya. See how tired I am?
Just called Trenya.
Yeah. That's okay. We'll put that on a T-shirt and it'll be a thing. So, so I'm pretty excited to be here. I mean, we get to work with them every day, in some fashion or another. A lot of times Trent's on his way to work and calls me up. We get to go over stuff, and Kenya calls me up and bullies me, and it's great. So we love it. We love it. And the reason why we love it is because we can see how much they care about their team and what they're doing here. And they've always been there, and they always have your interest in their heart at all times. It's always been about our team, our team, our team. What can we do to help them? Launching platforms, getting training sites together, going out there and finding the best marketing systems that they can get in your hands. I mean, come on. It's amazing what they're doing here. And so I'm honored to be here because I get to hang out with them yet again, and I get to be on a webinar with the Dream Team with you guys. This is cool. So I'm pretty excited. And one thing I kind of want to kick this off with, because I don't think a lot of people know this story, and I want to kind of get it out there and let you know where we've been and where we are. And I'm going to do that in about 5 minutes. We're going to do that pretty quick. So where we were, okay? I won't even go into how I met Hitesh. He was on the side of the road. I said, hey, how you doing, mister? You look like you'd be a good marketer. And he came and did some traffic for me. But anyway.
I used to work with Microsoft Tech Support.
Yeah, it was great. It was wonderful. I had a problem with I had a problem with PC. No, but you guys know Hitesh, and what you might not know is he's a master lead generator. He's pretty much a master at everything, because the guy's a genius, whether or not he likes to admit it. But DS Domination, from when we first launched, and even before then, What it really came down to was launching, being able to build something that could provide value to people, that could generate lots of trust, that could generate lots of people making a lot of money, and that would get us through to a certain point, okay, and create enough success stories that we would have a chance to be able to do something that at the time was kind of unthinkable. And that thing was to be able to bring in at least 6,000 people into what would be the compensation plan and the next step, the evolutionary vehicle that would allow the average person to succeed even more than what we perceive to be in DS domination. So over the last year and a half, since we've been going and doing this whole DS domination thing, what we've been doing on the back end is we've been improving things. If a processor goes down, if we have issues with processors, we go out there and forge new relationships. Okay, if we can't mail our members because we blow right past Aweber or GetResponse and we're doing too much volume, we build our own. We built an infrastructure. We built a basement that a house could be built on. And I'm not saying DS domination is the basement, but I think you get my drift. We built something that we knew we didn't mind putting a lot of money, effort, and time into to get the results that we needed, which was a really amazing infrastructure that we could leverage in the future, that would be even smoother for everybody. We went through all the bumps, and you know what? We were able to forge relationships and get people some amazing checks in their pocket with the cost offset model, with drop shipping, with Amazon, and we've had success stories that are just unheard of in this industry. And the whole time knowing that it was going to culminate to something very special, and that was the launch of Options Domination. Because now from this point, what we have is we have a revolutionary compensation plan, and I don't say that word lightly. We've got a compensation plan that allows the average person, to the tune of 84% of them, to make some kind of money in the compensation plan, just from existing in the compensation plan. It's ridiculous. So the little guy, all the challenges that they face in every other network marketing company for the affiliate side of the house has been removed. Those barriers are gone now. And on top of that, we give them the financial vehicle to not only get in there and start taking trades and make money now, but work their way up to a point where they're leaving a legacy income for their family, for their kids. Because that's really the dream, right? Is to get to that point where you can leave something amazing behind for your family, something you can leave your mark on this earth. And that's what this program is designed to do with Options Domination. The nuts and bolts and how that works, that vision is great, but getting into the nuts and bolts and how that's going to work required Mr. Hitesh Juneja. All right, we needed somebody like this guy. I don't think anyone else could have done it. So I give mad props and to what he's done. But also, before I turn this over to him, I just want to say thank you guys for being here. Thank you for those of you who came in DS Domination and saw where we were and saw where we are now with all the softwares, the upgrade, the infrastructure that's in place. You're about to reap even more of those benefits as we move into Options Domination. And in 10 years from now and 5 years from now, we'll be sitting right here talking about how we can make you even more money. It doesn't stop here. This is just, think of this as phase 2. And keep building your business with DS, but now you have something else that you can tack onto that that's going to just explode your income. So with that being said, Hitesh, I would love to turn it over to you and maybe get into some of the nuts and bolts of how this does all those things I just said it can do and it will do, and it is already doing for people.
Yeah, no, you're so right that we definitely have something going finally that doesn't rely on recruitment to begin with, right? So that's the first major barrier. When you're talking about barriers for the little guys, and to clarify, he doesn't mean that physically. I mean, you could be 6'6", and the barriers would still apply to you. With recruitment, it's we first have to develop something that doesn't require recruitment. We have that, that's working great. We had to have something that did not require significant amounts of money to begin. We have that, that's working really, really well. Now the idea is how can we actually expand that to a much larger market? How can we expand that in a much larger way? And how can we actually continue growing that into the true, real world? Okay, and you're no longer dependent upon one or two companies or one or two locations or things like that. Okay, that's basically where we are headed with this. And you'll kind of notice in the background there's been always this undertone of this idea of freedom, okay, and this concept of freedom and whatnot that all MLMs try and pitch people on. They're kind of like, you want to be free, give us your money and drink our shakes, and then somehow you'll be free. And in reality, you won't be. You'll be just as unfree and just a little bit poorer than you were before. And that's kind of what we have been truly trying to target. So the idea behind our whole thing has been creation of this truly free economy, really, in the background. So we obviously started out in actually, this is very interesting to me, because if you are somebody who has any kind of philosophical bent about how would you go about achieving a society where you had a true kind of true freedom, well, and you would find it's the very first concept, and maybe if you are familiar with, let's say, Milton Friedman or some stuff like that, then you would recognize that one of the first key things that a truly free society needs is a truly free economy. Okay, so a free economy is a necessary condition for a free society, not a sufficient condition. You could have a free economy and still be in a politically bad situation. So that's one of our core emphasis here. So when we talk about these phases, and you heard Kevin say this is just phase 2, I'm going to say world domination. It's going to sound evil and bad, but think in a way that if we wanted to go out and create something at a global level, at a world over level that impacts a significant portion of the population of humanity on here, and on Mars, if there are any over there eventually, how would you go about it? We obviously have to enter the first thing, which is exchange of goods, and that's basically e-commerce, right? So we already entered that sphere. We are at this point the largest e-commerce arbitrage platform. So that's very exciting. Okay, and remember that's separate from the affiliate side of things. Okay, so outside of that, we already have that with DS Domination. We've established ourselves in there. The second thing that you would want to be established in is finances and investments. That's going to be your second major sphere of influence, because that's actually where all innovation and all growth of economy really begins from. So that's going to be our second major thing, and that's what we have basically combined in binary options, forex, futures and commodities, and then of course actual investments, okay, actual ground level investments in different things. So when you look at this, maybe it'll also give you clues about what phases 3, 4, and 5 are, because there are currently at this point planned 5 phases, and we'll kind of hit on that a little bit later. But that's basically where we are. We're now in the second phase, and we're trying to establish ourselves in this new sphere of influence as well. And we're going to go about the exact same way that we did with DSD, which was you don't require recruitment. Recruitment is a nice little thing on the side. What we want is a product that works by itself and can make and generate income for people by itself. Okay, so that's basically what getting into binary options as the first step is about, and then we move on to bigger and bigger money. Just like with DS Domination, we start out at drop shipping, which is the easy thing to get into right in the beginning. It doesn't require significant amounts of understanding, knowledge, or funds, and then you move on to bigger and bigger things, from drop shipping to having multiple sources like elite kind of stuff, and then you have cashback and so on, which is basically getting better deals with the vendors, and eventually you end up with FBA and product sourcing, right? So that's kind of the same flow over here. We're going to go from very small to very, very big things, and we're going to do this in a very, very simple, quick fashion, and maybe we should just show you guys exactly how you would go about this. The biggest benefit, in my opinion, of options domination is it's so quick. You can get in here, you can get started, and you can be profitable on your first day. Okay, so that's maybe even the first hour in many instances that we have observed. So here's how you basically go about it. You go to your options domination account, you watch these videos just to be clear that you understand all of this. And then you go to the signals page, and when a signal comes in, you take that trade. That's essentially it. It's really, honestly, that simple to get started and get going in this. Now, let's look at yesterday, for example. So we look at all of the 17th. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 trades that came in yesterday. 8 of those won. So yesterday you had taken each of these trades for $100 at your broker, then you would have essentially seen a profit of right around $700. Okay, if all you had done was just copy these trades for $100 each. Same thing kind of today. Today so far we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 4 out of the 5 won so far. So for today's trading, and I'm just talking about in GMT, in today's trading so far, we would have made about a profit of $320 or so just by taking the trades as they're coming in. So this is obviously very, very exciting because it's very quick and you guys can start generating an income pretty much immediately. And the other good thing is that we actually have statistics, we have our data, we can actually look over in the past and see how much money we would have actually generated over time if you were just simply running with this. So let's say that you said, I don't have time to sit here and look at the live trading, the signals page. All I'm going to do is attend the live trading sessions that will be held every single line. So in that situation, you would be taking trades like this, and you see that we actually publish our tradings every day over here. So over here, if you look at this, let's say over the last month and 10 days, roughly about 30 trading days. If you looked at just those days, just the days that we took this trades, we had 151 trades with a 72.8% win rate. Okay, so let's just go and see what that means in terms of what that would have generated for us. And of course, Excel is acting up just to give me a hard time. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to restart this.
Come on, silly PC.
Kevin, do you want to entertain in the meantime?
Yeah, I would like to. I see all the comments in here. Someone keeps saying Trenya. So while he gets us up, I mean,
right,
I know what he's about to show. While
that's enough.
I don't see your. Oh, there it is. Dang it.
All right, so if you're just taking the 151 trades, if all you're done was taking just the live trading sessions in options domination, it's kind of like if all you attended were pro training sessions in DST, okay, and you were just taking action on those. So if you were just attending those, and let's say you were taking only $100 trades, then over the past results that you saw in there, you would have generated $5,236 in profit if all literally you did was you attended the live trading sessions from the 8th of February to the 16th of March. That's all you had done. And that's all you did. Nothing else whatsoever. You would have generated $5,236 in that particular situation. It's just a mathematical reality, okay? Let's say your payout was lower. Let's say the payout was only 80%. And let's say that your trade size was $50, not $100. You would still have made $2,300. Let's say that we had a really, really bad month as well. Let's say instead of winning 72, almost 73% of the trades, we only saw a win rate of 61%. Well, you would still have made $739. Okay, and that's obviously not counting anything from the side as an affiliate, on the side from the matrix, just none of that. Okay, ignoring all of that. This is what you would have generated just attending the live trading sessions. So this is the part that is, to us, a very, very exciting component of options domination. It's that you can come in here, devote very little time to it, but just as long as you follow along, as long as you're willing to take measured, actionable steps and do it consistently, then you can be very successful. Now, the concern I have with options domination at the same time is the same concern that I've had with people with DST. It's people who come in here and say, I made 7 listings and I have not sold anything. This is a scam. And the same concern is over here, that you come in here and you say, I traded 1 whole day or through 2 whole days, and it was unsuccessful because the signals were losing and so on. It's the law of averages. Okay, so if you even look at the numbers over here, you will find days where we had 50% win rate, 63%, 57%, 0% where we tried 2 trades and we were like, this market is too bad right now. We're going to do this. So if you were somebody who only traded on these 3 days, you would say, I'm getting horrible results. If you were somebody who only traded on these 4 days where we have 5 days, we had 100% win rate, then you might be thinking that we somehow have some precognitive ability and can see what the future holds. And both of those would be the wrong situation. So the first and the most important key for me about options domination being successful with that as a customer would just be consistency. It would just be for you guys to make sure that you say to yourself, this is the law of averages at work. We want to make sure that we are able to trade and we're able to actually take this content and take these signals and act on them over a period of time. Okay, so now to give you what I mean by over a period of time, to give you just a simple data analysis thing, we have run data analysis for the last 3 years. Okay, so we've gone over the last 3 years because 3 years typically represents almost all the different types of markets that are going to exist. So if you have a system that algorithmically is successful over 3 years, then you know that you have something that's working. It's the same thing when you say, we have been doing e-commerce and selling on eBay or things like that for years now. And when you look at that across the years, you see all the changes that have come and gone, Google and this and that. And if you have been successful consistently throughout that entire time, you are likely to be consistently successful in the future as well. But there is always that risk factor, right, that something is going to change so dramatically that things aren't going to work the same way. So that, other than that risk factor, we can usually look back at long back tests and say, this is a pretty decent representation of if this system is going to work consistently over the next however much time, right? So I showed a back test. If you're a member, actually, you should go to Foundation, and there's actually a place where I actually go through a back test, actually show, here's how we back test our data. We run one of our strategies live. I think it's a 15-minute strategy or a 30-minute strategy that I show in here. We have a 5-minute strategy that I can run a back test on right now, and maybe people can see how that works. And if you just were consistently doing that over time, over a year or so, then you will definitely have good results, provided we have good win rates, provided we have good trading going on, and that's the only concern, right? The past performance is not a guarantee of future results. But assuming that we are consistently doing the same kind of numbers that we have been doing, then you would have a pretty decent shot at being very successful with this, okay? So that's the basic point here. If you just compound it over time, this is an insanely aggressive return, and that's why this is so good, okay? Because you can start out, you can be somebody who has never traded before, somebody who is just getting in, who has very limited capital, okay, and you're only taking $50 trades. That would mean that you're only starting out your entire trading career with maybe $1,000, okay? You're not starting out with 100,000 or something like that. You're just starting out with, let's say, $1,000 to trade. You're taking only $50 trades. You would, if we just had a 61% win rate and over 151 trades in a month, then you would have made a net profit of $739 from that. That's almost doubling what you began your account with, right? So that's an example of what can be achieved over here. And yes, to address Danielle's question, yes, $100 is enough for a trade. In fact, we don't recommend that you do, for binary options, you don't want to do very, very high level trades with significantly more than $100, especially when you're just starting out. The whole strategy and the money management and risk management is already covered in the training. So you just go through that. It's some guy with a really boring style, but he does a decent job of explaining the risk management and how you need to take care of that. So that's the excitement about options domination, that it works out in a very interesting way in that it's very easy to get going. It's very, very mathematical, so it doesn't rely on you trying to figure out the psychology of what's going on with the buyer on the other side. Is a particular item going to be attractive to them or not? It doesn't rely on those things. It relies primarily on a very simple mathematical system, which is if you have this trade size, this many trades, this is your win rate, this is the result. There's no way getting around that.
Yep.
Okay, you can't mess that up, and that's all there is to it. So everything between DST and options domination has its own place. Okay, these are both very synergistic systems. If you don't have any money, then you obviously can't trade, right? Because you need money to trade. So if you have no money whatsoever and you're just starting out, then obviously you want to go into DST. If you have $0 to your name, you should really be starting out with the cash out offers. Start there, get a little bit of money. Okay, let's say you make $50 from there. Take $20 and get pro, and take $30 to fund your first products that you sell. Okay, and use that little bit of profit to expand from there. And I know that sounds like a pipe dream in some ways, but we have had people in DST who actually started out with cash out offers, who did not even start out with $20, and they are currently generating into 5 figures every month between the product side and the affiliate side. And that's the true story. Okay, this is not just a made-up scenario. That's the true story, and not just for one person. There's actually multiple people like that within DST. So the same thing is going to be going over here in options domination. You start out at the lowest level. Okay, all you're going to be doing is come in here, take the trades from the table. Okay, take the signals as they're coming in. We have maintained between 62 to 66% win rates, okay, in that range, with the algorithmic trading, with just these signals stable across the board for a very significant period of time. Okay, so if you were just taking these trades, provided nothing changes dramatically in the future, if you just had that consistent win rate, let's say a 62.5% win rate, if that's all you had, and you were just trading with $50 each time, and we're looking at roughly between 5 to 10 trades every single day. Okay, so let's say that you took 7 trades a day over 20 trading days, you would have 140 trades over the month, and you would have generated $875 in profit. Okay, so that's considering that you're somebody who's just starting out, who is at the lowest level, you're not doing any live trading sessions, you don't have any extra trading you're doing by yourself on the side, and you're only doing binary options trading. Okay, that's what you'll be getting. Because then there's this whole other aspect that we're going to be releasing here soon, as soon as we have everything settled down from this initial launch. We have the futures and commodity side of things. For example, we have our oil trading going on. Yesterday, our oil account actually went up by 10%. Okay, just yesterday. So in one day, we went from $30,500 some dollars to $34,000. Very, very substantial jump. So that's a whole other thing that happens to. Obviously, I'm not claiming that we're going to see a 10% return every single day on an account, but that's working extremely well as well. We run back tests on it. We run the strategy through strategy tests to make sure that it's going to be usable over time, and so on and so forth. So this is our beginning step. And the mathematical reality of this beginning step is that if you took just 5 to 7 trades a day, okay, over a month, and our win rate was 62.5%, then this is what you'll be generating in your net profit, as long as you keep your trade size the same. And that's the biggest thing. Okay, so make sure you watch the money and risk management video. Do not keep changing your trade size. If you lose a trade, don't think next trade I'm going to go in with $100 instead because if it wins I want to make more money. Don't do anything like that. Just keep a fixed trading size. Don't get emotional about anything. Just keep these results in your mind, and that's all it is. So we often tell people with DST, when you come in, make at least 10 listings before you even begin evaluating what your results are. Okay, some people come in, they make their first listing and it makes like 20 sales for them. Some people come in and their 9th listing is what makes any sales for them. They make nothing from their first 8 listings. So the same concept here. Don't even begin analysis until you have a significant amount of data. Okay, until you have hit at least 40, 50 trades, you can't really make any significant amount of you don't have enough data to make any kind of analysis, make any kind of conclusion on what is good or not. Now, we are actually going to be rolling out a lot of new things in here at the same time. Okay, so you're going to actually begin seeing there's going to be a box over here that's also going to show you market conditions that will allow you to trade yourself if you want to, based on what's going on in the market conditions. We are also going to be rolling out a news thing right here on the side, so you can avoid trading during time of news where it affects a particular currency or commodity. You'll have, all that good stuff coming out here soon. We already have option mine where you can go in and track results. So when we have the end of day trades in here, you can go and just click the button. It will set a reminder for you. And then, of course, we have our app coming out. Maybe I should show a picture of the app on here. We have the app coming out, which will basically stream the signals every single day to you guys, and you'll be able to track your results on there. You'll be able to actually take your trades right on your phone. So if you're somebody who hates being at the computer, you don't want to be on the computer, you can be just, up and about. You get a notification on the app, give it the signal, you just go and trade the signal at the broker just from your phone. You don't even have to be on a computer whatsoever, and you can actually do that. In fact, let me just very quickly pull up an image of the app so you guys can see what it looks like. Okay, so this is what basically the app looks like. This is on a Samsung. It's basically on an Android phone. You would log into your app, and then your app will, as soon as notifications come in, it would basically send the signal right to you, and you can go and take this trade off your phone at your broker immediately. Okay, and that's how easy it is. So that's like some of the stuff coming out. It's really hard for me to even imagine how you could make it any simpler than this. This is the hard thing about it. I'm kind of terrified about doing too many webinars about this because there's only so much you can cover here. With DST, one of the fun things is that we can always go deeper and deeper and deeper because there's so much there. And look, then we can figure out this one other trick with eBay, and you can make this many more sales. And then we can figure out this one other trick with this one vendor to make a little bit more profit margin. And then you can use this one software to make a little bit more profit per se. There's really not a whole lot of unless you're learning how to trade. We have a lot of depth in learning how to trade. But when it comes to actually just coming in here and taking action, it's pretty much like you come in here, watch the videos, open an account at the broker. Okay, and in the beginning, you want to just trade on demo because you want to get used to it. You want to trade on demo. You look at the signals. You take the signals. That's it. I mean, what else there's nothing else to it. The results are the same. Whether or not you know extremely detailed stuff about how to trade, or whether or not you are a complete newbie at it, it would make no difference because this is what the numbers say. This is exactly what the results would be for anybody if they had this win rate and this trade size and this total number of trades. This is exactly what it would be. So that actually is the beginning and end of everything about what we have in options domination right now in terms of what you can be doing immediately. Okay, and that's that. Now we will address questions and answers, and there was some Kenya and Trent were like, oh, we have some hard questions for you. We want to grill you guys about something. They actually haven't asked anything yet. They've just gushed about how awesome it is. So I'm hoping they actually have something hard and challenging to answer. So go ahead.
We
Good
do.
luck.
Trent, do you want to go first?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Well, if you guys want, we can answer Rick's questions first.
Rick? Is that what you said?
Yes, he posted some questions.
Sure. Let's let Rick go first.
Okay. Okay, I want you to review the details of each membership using the new site to make a decision. Okay, so first of all, let's go over what are the differences between such an obvious questions. Come on, guys, you should have asked me this already. Obvious question. What is the difference between different levels of membership, right? Okay, so let's address that. Now, why did you not ask me this already, Kenya? This one was supposed to be asked by you.
By me?
Just so everybody knows, before the webinar, it took us a while because we were all like just sitting there trying to figure out what questions would be asked. So, like how presidents and so on, they planned questions, we were like trying to plan questions. And this was one of the low softball questions that was supposed to be asked of us, and they didn't. So none of that is true, okay? We didn't do that. But it's just fun giving Kenya in particular a hard time because she really gets offended about stuff, and it's fun. So here are the differences. Okay, there's basically just 3 levels: inheritance, enterprise, and legacy. And I'm sorry.
Nothing. I just had some shock at what you just said. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Well, please don't interrupt me again, okay?
Yo,
I'm
come
getting the
on.
flow of thinking.
Whatever.
Okay, so we have three basic products here, okay? Inheritance, enterprise, legacy. The other cool thing about the whole thing over here is that these are all backwards compatible. That means if you have enterprise, you don't need inheritance. Inheritance is included in enterprise. If you have legacy, it includes enterprise and inheritance. Okay, so when we say legacy is $399 a month, it's not $399 plus $149 plus $49 that you're paying. This includes the $200 that you are paying over here already. Okay, so it's actually not as expensive as it sounds at first. And we know that there's this little marketing trick that we can use, right, where we can have multiple products at lower price points, and then you have to have all of them, and then it adds up. It sounds like this other company called DST. No, it's we basically listen to feedback, right? So one of the points that we got from DST was a lot of people said there are so many products here. You know, I'm having to keep an eye out on all these different products and what to do there. So one of our concepts was, let's make it really simple and make it so that once you have a higher level, you don't need to buy the lower level that's included. Okay, so let's go over what's included here. So with inheritance, the main point with inheritance is you're actually starting out with binary options trading. You get these signals every day, and these signals are, you'll notice they're called TMR, MR2, and MR1. Okay, there's no MR1 on this page right now. If I load more, you'll see it. MR1, MR2, and TMR, they're all what we call mean reversion trades. Okay, mean reversion means that the market is somewhat a ranging market. If you guys are traders, you would know what I mean by that. It's somewhat a ranging market. It's moving it's not moving with a particularly strong trend in either direction. And when the price does move too high or too low, we expect it to come back to somewhere in the middle. Okay, that's the idea behind mean reversion. And as you can see, it actually does work in a ranging market. It does work very, very successfully. In a strongly trending market, it doesn't work quite as well. So, but if you don't know what trending and ranging mean, just ignore that. If you were just coming in here and taking the trades, like I said, the historical win rate on these signals, just blindly, is between 62 to 65%. And then we have weeks, right? There are certain weeks where the win rate drops down to like 50%. And there are weeks where the win rate is about 80, 85%. Okay, so that's just a normal fluctuation that happens all the time. Depends on the day, like you saw. If I just showed you a screenshot of this, you'd be like, these guys win all the time. And then if I go further back, then there are days where we have streaks of losses together. Then you'd be like, these guys never win. So don't think in those terms. Just think in terms of over time. This is our win rate on these. So with inheritance, you come in here, you set up your account at the broker, you go ahead and start taking the trades from the signaling table. Okay, that's the core essence of inheritance. That's what we're trying to get you to do. We're trying to get you to understand how the markets behave, what brokers are, things like that. Just basic stuff. Now, when you move to enterprise level, now things start getting very interesting, because first of all, you start getting other types of signals. Okay, the two types of signals that you start receiving on top of this are called EOD, which means end of day. Okay, end of day signals, which are issued. All of them are actually issued and or reviewed at least by manual traders. Okay, so we actually have a team of traders in the background who are all available and who are all actually working on this stuff with us. They issue those trades, and those trades have historically so far an upwards of 70% win rate, and there's a particular set of those that is above 75%, but historically they are doing a little over 70% in terms of win rates. Okay, so you would have slightly better time with those. The biggest benefit, in my opinion, of the end of the day trades is you actually don't have to set up the computer all the time. You don't have to monitor the trades whatsoever. The end of day trades are issued to you. You go in, and what you can do with enterprise is you can set up an option mine. Okay, so let's say that a trade is issued to you that oil is going to stay below, oil is going to be below 51.86. Okay, let's say that's what the trade analysis came in. You don't actually have to stay on your computer waiting for oil to hit 51.86 so you can take the trade. You set up this option mine. Okay, you can either set it up manually or you can actually set it up in the signal table itself. Okay, 51.86, for example, here. This is me doing it manually, but actually in the signals table, when the trade comes in, it says next to it, set a reminder. You can click on that, it'll automatically set the reminder. And you click on submit, and what this will do is it'll monitor the price for you. When it hits that price, your app will get a notification on your phone. You'll get an email saying, hey, the price just hit your desired level. You can now go take the trade. Okay, so at the enterprise level, you can already begin to become a little freer in terms of doing things. You let these analysts and traders figure out the trades, confirm the trades, they issue this conditional trade. If oil hits this price, then we're going to stay below that. In some cases, there are other conditional trades, like if the price on this hits this point, then we will take a call, meaning it's going to go up. Otherwise, we're going to take a put. Okay, and that's another conditional trade. You can set up those conditions over here and basically just walk away. Okay, you can walk away. And if that whole day, and this is the best part in my opinion, you don't force yourself into trades. Many times what will happen if you're physically trading this, if any of you have tried it, let's say the price was 51.86. If it hits 51.86, then we're going to take a put. Okay, that's going to stay below that. And what will happen is you're sitting there, and eventually you start getting impatient, and the price is 51.81, and you're like, you know what, it's close enough. Just take it. And you don't want to do that, right? So the best part about this is, since it's all set up, you walk away, you're not emotionally involved in it. If it hits that point, you take the trade. If it doesn't hit that point, you don't. So you avoid taking any bad trades at all. That's the other good thing with this. And that's one of the other reasons why our win rate is high like that. It's higher than 70% because you're not taking any bad trades. You're not trying to force yourself into a trade when there is none to be taken. So that's the other cool thing with enterprise. Then the other thing that opens at enterprise level is our live trading. Now, if you're an enterprise level member, then you get 7 trading session credits every month. Okay, every single month that you're a member, you get 7 trading session credits. Now, you can buy more trading session credits yourself. Okay, you can actually see that this is an actual value. The reason this is an actual value is because you can actually go into the system. You can actually buy a session for $15 if you want it. Okay, so if you run out of trading sessions, you want more, or you want to buy trading sessions for somebody in your team, or you want to buy them for your cousin who wants to trade your account for you, you can actually do that. Okay, kind of like buying UPC codes or something in DST. But you start out with 7 at the enterprise level. Now keep in mind, enterprise costs $100 more than inheritance, right? But trading sessions themselves, even if you don't count the end of day signals, you don't count the option mine, you don't count all the other benefits, just the live trading alone is already $105 worth of trading session credits, right? So really the benefit of end of day trading and option mine and so on is kind of free to you, because you're already covered by the trading session costs. You already take care of that. Now, obviously, on top of that, the good thing about live trading is that we have our trading team there. We have our live traders. They get on there for the Asian trading session when the Asian market opens up. They start taking the trades, and this is all in real time. So they will actually say, before the trade even develops, they'll say, looks like there is a trade forming for Euro USD. Okay, we are looking to take a put on Euro USD, watch for that, okay? And then you're waiting, and then they will say, when the time is appropriate, they'll say, okay, entry point, this is the price we're entering at, let's take a put right now, okay? And you'll go and you'll take the put with them. It's usually going to be 15 minutes to 30-minute trades, not long-term trades. You'll take the trade, and that's it. The other good thing that happens over here is many times they'll be able to take screenshots of what they are seeing on their screen, where they are seeing the opportunity. So you're learning along with this as you go. As you go through this, you're also learning, oh, this is what this guy is seeing, and that's why we're entering this trade. And that's the other good benefit of this whole thing. You're actually learning along with it. And if the market is bad, then typically the trader will just say, oh, looks like we don't have any sessions, we don't have anything happening right now, we're not going to enter a trade. Again, it removes the emotional responsibility from you. So this is more like, you get on a call, and then we have some of the very good people who know exactly how to sell on eBay or Amazon within DS. Let's say Dion Jaffe. I know many of you are aware of him. Let's say Dion is on here, and he's like, okay, I'm reviewing all these products that are coming out, and this product looks like it'll be good, and here's what we're going to do with this, and so on. Okay, and you're just basically learning along with it, and he's explaining why he's doing what he's doing. Okay, that's the same idea over here with the live trading. Obviously, you can see the results over here. Obviously, you can see the actual true market value of this because you can actually buy these if you want. But that's over here. And then we have also some more training in here where we show you how to look at candlestick patterns if you're so interested in that, what's really going on when you're looking at market and stuff like that. We kind of go over that too. And then finally, at legacy level, you get the strongest type of signals as well, which are further end-of-day signals. Okay, and then you get continuation of what we call RR signals. Okay, RR are they are available in both enterprise and legacy. These are called rapid reversal signals, and those are actually from this particular algorithm right here. I just ran the backtest on it. You guys are free to see. You can see the results right here. This is over the last 1 year almost. It's like 11 months. And you see 316 trades, 71% win rate. So you can see these have a very strong win rate as well, very strong history. And these are made available at enterprise level and at legacy level as well. So on legacy level, you get even more signals, very strong end-of-day signals. You get more sessions for live trading as well, which is 18 sessions every single month, which is about all you need. From our estimations, there's typically only about 18 to 19, maximum 20 trading days in a month. Okay, there's almost never more than that. So you can basically trade the entire month as a legacy member just with live trading. Okay, you can ignore everything else. You can take just the live trading sessions and just the end-of-day trades, which means you're really not going to be in here very much at all. You can just leave it be and just trade off of your phone every single day, and that's all you do. And then trade the session. You set aside just that one little block of time to do the trading, and that's all. Okay, nothing else is really required of you in that situation. And that's the benefit of legacy. Now there are other cool things that are not in here right now. That's why I haven't mentioned them yet. But at enterprise level, you will also get access to futures and commodity trading. And then at legacy level, you also get access to, in the future as we roll this out, managed accounts, where you basically can put some funds in and allow that to be diversified across some forex trading, some futures and commodity trading, some true investments, and then you have also what we call wealth protection and asset protection investments, where you're not putting money in with the idea that this money is going to grow at 50% or 100% a year. You're putting it there expecting it to grow very slowly, but it's as close to risk-free as you can get it. Okay, it's like putting something in a fixed deposit account, right? I mean, it's not very risky. You're not actually putting that money out in the market. You're not taking a significant risk on it. It's kind of the same thing over here. You're not taking a significant risk with those wealth protection strategies whatsoever. That money is typically invested in very, very safe means that historically have very low risk of you losing money on that. So that's the final thing that's in legacy, and that's why we call it legacy, right? Because you're going to leave a legacy behind with that. So inheritance, and note that we will also be adding the cash out offers in here, like we have in DST. So you can actually use some of that money combined with some of the money you get from the matrix to get into trading right away. So you can trade on inheritance level, you can trade with it, and it goes in that flow. You start out with an inheritance, you build up a business, and that's enterprise, and then you leave something behind for your future generations, and that's legacy. And that's the really simple, easy flow over here. Okay, so that addresses, I think, everything about what are the differences between the memberships, what membership should I begin at, and then of course you get the benefit that if you are at a higher level, then you actually earn more from your matrix as well. So there's that little fun benefit, and I'm sure that'll be a question somebody will ask: how does the matrix system work? And then we will have to make people think that this is some complicated, weird mess, but we will address the matrix as well. Okay.
Since we were just talking about signals, Hitesh, do you mind if I ask a question about those?
Yes. Right now we're addressing Rick's question, so we're not. I'm kidding. Please go ahead.
Hey. Okay. So, well, you're showing us all these signals and where we get them, and what I want to know is you know, in internet land, there's a lot of things that people read, and there's a lot of controversy that was brought up, you know, a few weeks ago, maybe a little more, and you know, it was based on where you were getting the signals. Can you?
Yes, I do remember that. Yes, that was a very vexing situation.
Yeah.
And Kevin, do you think I should actually just go through my email again? I worry because I'm gonna go through my email and then okay. So guys, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pause my screen for a second and then
Yeah.
just let me do it, okay? We'll just do that. So I'm going to do things. First of all, I'll just run a live backtest so you guys can actually see this backtest working in real time, okay? So you can see that we actually have our own system and whatnot, okay? So I'm just gonna hit start on this, and we'll let this run, and then we'll come back and take a look at the results. But this is what a backtest is, by the way. As you can see, you know, the market is moving in real time, okay? So the signals being issued on this are going to be issued in real time. Just we've gone back in time. So we have started out on the 28th of April, and this is going to let us know what our win rates are. Okay, so I'm just going to leave this running. It's really kind of a fun little gimmick that lets you guys see that we have legitimate win rates, and it's legitimately being generated in real time by our own algorithms. Okay, so I'll just leave this running, and you can see that. Meanwhile, I am going to pause my screen for a second so I can actually and go into my email and show you guys this. Okay, here we go. Okay, so you can see in here, this is my email account. As you can see, this is live, 147,954 emails. Clearly, I have stuff going on. So what happened is the situation is that this one particular individual showed up. What they did is, so this is before options domination was ever live. Okay, this was when it was all set up. We were in this test mode, and there's this guy or this company. We don't even know if this guy is actually a real guy or not. We don't know if this is just a pseudonym used, and that's fine. I don't really care. But what had happened was, like anybody would do, we go out there and we look at all the different services out there, all the different things out there, and we were looking at that. And this guy has a signaling service, and his service, he had a pretty nice looking template for the table and how it delivered signals. So we were like, oh, you know, this is a pretty nice table. We should develop something like this. We should use something like that. So in our test site, which was not live, which was not issuing signals to anybody, okay, nobody was paying for options domination, nothing like that. We had the table. This guy went in there. He's not even a DST member. He went into the test site, and just to give you an idea of this, when I asked him how he got into the test site, he said, ha, why don't you tell me? Okay, so you can just tell what the guy's intentions were to begin with. He went into the test site and then claimed that we were going to be issuing, that we were stealing and selling his signals. Okay, now here is the fun part behind this. The reason why I found this so, in one way, hysterical, and in the other way, so particularly disturbing, is I had actually tested this guy's signals out back in December, okay? And this is the email exchange between them and me back, and this is, as you can see, right, this is in January 2nd, okay? So I wrote them this, and keep in mind, there was no intention of ever showing this to anybody, right? Because the only reason this is being shown is because of this guy's claims that we were getting the signals from him somehow. And you can see what I wrote them. You know, I've been trading for a long time. I have a portfolio exceeding $3 million, so I'm not a newbie. You know, I understand what's happening. And basically, your signals are really, really bad because your signals that are recorded as wins are not true wins because those strike prices, the actual price being issued, was never available at the broker. I wrote them this back on, this is on 2nd January after testing it through December, and told them that this is the scenario. Note that they don't even deny that, okay? They're very clear, you know, oh, this is because we use a different data feed, which is fine, okay? I understand there are different data feeds that exist, but it will not always be possible to match the entry price, and here is their advice. If the signal system shows a 10-minute expiry, but the entry isn't good at the start, you could just watch for a better entry around the 5-minute mark if that expiry time is. I mean, it's just totally useless. I mean, you might as well not be getting those signals then, because those are not actual actionable signals. Okay. Now, here is my point. Okay, I don't really care whether or not this service is good or bad. If we wanted to steal signals, let's say we really wanted to steal signals, why would we steal signals from somebody that we actually told them themselves, we don't like your signals have really bad results, right? So the whole idea was what this guy was trying to do, and again, this is just a difference of scale, right? This is a difference of size. For somebody like us, where we have, like I said, we are starting out with 120,000 accounts. For us, what the thought process of 200 to 500 people is not the biggest factor, right? But for these kind of people who have just started out, he's charging $150 or something like that per month for his service. For him, getting 300 more people to join his service is the biggest deal ever. And I mean, they've never seen that kind of money in their life. To suddenly see 300 people join in a day. So what happened is he puts out that video, and when I spoke to him on Skype, I was very polite. I was very, very forgiving towards this whole scenario, and I told him, I said, look, I'm just in a bad situation right now, so I don't want to talk too much about it. I was actually at the hospital with my son at the time, and I told him that, look, I understand. I don't know if you thought we were stealing signals from you, but go check your history. I actually wrote you guys a while back. We are absolutely not using your signals. We don't want to use your signals. And he even offered to work out a white label deal with us that he would provide signals. I was like, no, we don't even want to work that out. Yes, we will look into it. Yes, we will consider working a white label with you, but that's not the point here. We have our own thing going on. And but I understand if you legitimately thought that we were stealing your signals, I would understand you would be concerned. And he was like, no, you guys are so big, I absolutely don't think that I can take on a company your size and blah blah blah. Well, what happens is in the meantime he starts getting all these signups, right? Because Options Domination already has more traffic without being launched than his site has had in a decade probably. And for him, it's like, oh, wow, I put out this one video and I played the victim, and suddenly I'm getting these people signing up. And he's not the only guy to do that. There are other people who have done the same thing. They are not traders. They've never traded before. And they suddenly now, because of Options Domination's name, they're trying to sell you some magical indicator, or they're trying to sell you their own signaling system. Or usually what they'll do is they'll say, sign up for a broker through my link, and then I'll give this to you for free. And they do that because they get CPA commissions from the brokers. It's just all around, it's just unethical behavior. That's all it is. And even when the biggest problem with these kind of scenarios is when you call people out on it, when you say, listen, this is wrong, don't do this, very few of them will actually repent and say, you know what, I messed up, I shouldn't have done that. What they will instead do is they'll try and put their foot down even more, and they'll try and, just like get stuck in their position and be like, no, what I'm doing is right. So in one scenario, we had this person who basically used Options Domination, leveraged that to start selling a really scammy indicator that is fake. It repaints is what we call it. The technical term is repainting. And what repainting means, and by the way, here the result is concluded, so you guys can see this was a live backtest. But what repainting is that it places arrows historically in a way. Okay, so what it would do is it would be more like this. Let's say I was trying to convince you guys that I had a really, really good system. So instead of running a live backtest, what I would do is something like this. I would say, look, I'm going to predict that the market is going to go down here. Okay, and then I take a screenshot of this, and then I show you the screenshot, and I say, look at this, guys, our indicator is awesome. It predicted so accurately the market was going to go down. No, it didn't. Nothing was predicted. It just placed the arrow at the highest point in a small time frame. And so what will happen is this arrow might have originally been here, then it would move here, then here, then here. So if you had ever taken the trade in any of these positions, you would have lost the trade. Okay? Eventually you would win the trade if you kept trading, but you would have lost, out of the 4 trades, you would have lost 3 of them. But it would never appear like that because the arrow would vanish from the previous position and would appear at the new position. And this is what in technical terms, we call this a repainting indicator. We don't use these. In fact, if you go research anything, almost the first question anybody will ask about an indicator is, does this repaint? Because I don't want to use it. And even when people are called out on this stuff, and we say, look, you might not be a trader, so maybe you don't know that this is a bad thing, that this is not something that you use. They won't just admit that. They will just say, no, I'm making so much money selling this thing, I would much rather continue acting like this thing actually works. And that's a horrible thing. So for us, that's a horrible thing. We have never shied away from calling out people on the shenanigans. We've had the same thing happen where now the DST is a big name. Now suddenly people show up with their trainings on eBay or whatever, and then people's accounts sometimes get shut down, or people don't make profit in general, and it's just because they're trying to just capitalize on a big name out there. So that's all it was. So we have had two scenarios like this. One with this guy with his signaling thing, trying to basically get some signups off of our name, and it's just hilarious. I mean, just hilarious and sad at the same time, because it really would be like a defensible position if it was such that his signals were really good and we were like, let's try and copy this. But here it is, his signals are bad. You have historical records. I wrote their site saying your signals are bad. You know, I've been testing this. What is your basis behind claiming this? And when they do this, then I'm like, look, I would have left you alone. I would have never ever said anything about this guy or his signaling service. But now, because of his claims, it's coming out in the open. Now you have this giant company basically saying, here's our history, here's our discussion with them. This is how bad their signals are. And that's what some of these guys don't get. The short-term payoff is you get signups because you are targeting a big company, but the long-term effect is that your shenanigans get exposed, and then you get in more trouble than it's worth. And
Right.
that's basically what's happening. So we are pretty strict about that. My position is you are not restricted with options domination. You can use any other signaling service. You can use any broker you want. You can go use any indicator you want. But when you do, okay, first of all, make sure you ask them for a live backtest. Say, show me a live backtest where we can see that your indicator is actually predictive, okay, and not simply a lagging indicator or a repainting indicator. So when you look at our trade here, right, so when you see this red arrow is issued on here, what this is actually telling us is not that you should enter at this high price. It's saying on the next candle, we will enter the trade at the open of next candle. So we'll actually be entering the trade over here when the next candle opens, and we will be exiting the trade when the next candle closes, okay, right here. So all this is telling us is if the next candle will go up or down. And so you can see the stats here that of the 316 predictions, 71% of the time we would write about what the next candle will do. Okay, and the condition actually on this particular signaling system is the signal is issued within 10 seconds of when the new candle opens. Okay, so it's definitely predictive, and it does not work if you stop. So this is actually one of our RR signals, a rapid reversal signal, and we have 6 total strategies that we use over here, other than the mean reversion ones. And not to bore everybody with all the background stuff. In fact, I think the reason people pay for options domination is because they don't want to deal with this boring stuff in the background. They don't want to hear about this and understand this. But that's basically what we're doing. We're entering trades on rapid reversals where we're predicting what's going to happen over the next candle. Okay, so we are predicting over here that the next candle will go down, the next candle does go down, and we win. And it doesn't always happen. Sometimes we lose. Like over here, we predicted the next candle would go down, and instead it went up. So we actually legitimately mark that as a loss. You'll see this red line over here. You'll see the red line over here. We don't suddenly jump over and say, no, we actually meant this candle, and therefore we really won. And then we say, that's actually a good thing because the signal corrected itself. That's baloney. You issue a signal. If it's wrong, you accept like a man, this was wrong, and like a woman. I'm not saying that women don't accept that it's wrong, but everybody should accept that it's wrong, and that's it. You move on. But that's hopefully addresses the controversy about this whole scenario and what was going on.
Awesome. Can I ask a question, Nitesh?
Yes.
All right. I know we got a lot of people on here. Some people are probably new. Some people are, maybe have traded in the past and stuff like that. So I want to address the brokers and how do, for people that are watching and listening and stuff, how do people know that the brokers are trustworthy or not?
Okay, so first thing you should do is go in here and actually watch the video on brokers, because brokers are not always trustworthy. And you can't, other than Nadex, the only broker approved in the US is Nadex. We cannot say this in stronger terms. We put this whole little shenanigan over here. We have a bunch of Nadex training videos because Nadex is actually at this point the only truly regulated broker available where traders can be assured that there is no problem with it. And you will notice we actually gave a little list over here, G options, market world, boss capital, RB options. Notice that we did not issue affiliate links to these. Okay, the reason we did not give you affiliate links to these is because we do not want to be accused of recommending a broker because we're getting money from them. Okay, that's why we didn't give you affiliate links for these. Now what we did is we actually went to all of these brokers and we asked them, would you work out a special deal for our members? Okay, and we actually didn't just stop there. We asked them for very in-depth data. We actually create accounts with them, we trade with them, and when we're profitable, we pull some funds out from them. They don't know that it's options domination. It's done in different names. And when we receive the withdrawal, that's when we even pursue them. If they do any kind of, if they create any kind of scenarios for us where we can't trust them because of price manipulation or the withdrawal isn't released, then they won't even feature here. We won't even name them. Only when they've given us a withdrawal and we have seen consistently trackable results, that's when we go and ask them, are you able to provide a special deal for our members? Okay, and that's the other thing that happens. The second we ask them that, you start exposing some realities behind the scene. We ask them to give us in writing how many withdrawal requests their company has received and how many have been honored. We ask them to give us in writing that they make money not just from trader losses. Because, again, when you watch this video, our brokers, it'll explain that many brokers, most brokers, I would say, in binary options are called bucket shops. They basically make money when the trader loses. Okay, so it's kind of like the casino situation. When you lose money playing roulette, the casino makes money from you playing roulette, and that's why they want you to play slot machines. They want you to do this stuff. So we actually ask them to give to us in writing that they do not make money purely from trader losses. Okay, so once we have confirmation in writing, they don't make money just from trader losses. When we have traded with them and withdrawn money from them, when we have seen no evidence of price manipulation, that's when we go to them and say, will you offer a special deal for our members? Keep in mind, that is all secondary to Nadex, and the only reason we are even looking to add these options is because Nadex doesn't provide trading for less than 1 hour of trades. Okay, so that's why we are even looking at these options, because for 5-minute trading or 15-minute trading, you will need one of these other brokers. At that point, they will typically negotiate with us, right? Because they want to make a deal with us. They will either be okay with us kind of haggling with them and saying, what can you give our members, or they won't be. And that's our other natural test. If you go to a broker and we say, we want you to offer risk-free trading for our members, and we don't want you to worry about paying us big CPA commissions, we want you to worry more about paying us something on the total volume of trading. Okay, now notice the difference between these two scenarios. In one situation, and I'll give you a DST context of this. In one situation, let's say that a guy says to you, pay me for every listing that is made. Okay? In another situation, the guy says, pay me from every product that you actually sell. Obviously, the guy who's making money from you selling a product is more legit, right? Because he believes you are only paying when you are being profitable in that scenario. While the guy who says pay me per listing could be putting out junk listings for you and is just making money off of junky listings. So when we go to them and we say we want to be paid on the volume generated, if they are very concerned about it, if they're like, oh, I don't know if you want to work with that, we don't really do that, and then they come back and they usually do this, they'll offer us a rev share and they'll say, we will give you a part of our revenue generated, and that revenue is net losses of traders. Okay, the second they admit that, we are like, no way we're going to recommend you. We are not recommending you. End of discussion. Okay, because we don't want to do that. We don't ever want a conflict of interest where they are offering us some money for our traders to lose. So we don't work with those people. So if you go online and you look up any of these brokers or any other brokers as well, you will find from anywhere ranging from these guys didn't pay me to price manipulation, all sorts of complaints. Okay, you'll even find some complaints about Nadex right now. A lot of them, you have to understand, are not necessarily legitimate complaints. You'll find complaints about DS domination. There was this one guy who claimed that options domination will be a scam because DST is a scam, because DST teaches people, literally trains people to sell their grandma's stuff on eBay. And I was just like, what are you talking about? I mean, that doesn't make any sense at all. So there are going to be people like that who will complain. So for example, with G options, we told them, this is our plan. We want to know what kind of specials you can offer our members, And here was our big thing, right? We asked them to give our members risk-free trading with no restrictions and no volume. Okay, what that means is you can go there, you can trade, and if you're unhappy with the platform, you can pull out your money and there will be no restriction whatsoever. They're not going to tell you that you have to trade for the next 5 years to make up this trading volume of 40 times. Now, we also make it very clear to you guys that they do offer that kind of risk-free trading, but I highly recommend that you don't go over there and try and negotiate that, because their risk-free trading will usually be this one that's tied to a 40 times or a 30 times volume. The one that we have negotiated for you is not tied to that kind of a volume restriction, which shows to us that they're willing to work legitly. They must be making money, some money, small money on the volume as well. That is why they're okay with that. And then they also agreed with us on the second thing. They said, yes, we will pay you a very small, but it's less than 1%. We will pay you less than 1% of the total volume generated by your traders, which, by the way, we don't actually hold on to that money. That money goes to Jason, okay, who is the owner of Options Domination, and that actually gets rolled into either further developments or gets rolled into the low income bonus in Options Domination. So people who have made nothing from the matrix or less than $10 from the matrix and have no money as an affiliate, that money actually goes towards those people to try and bring them up a little bit. Okay, so we have no incentive in this system, and you will notice that these other three also told us those things in writing. We are already in negotiations with them, but they haven't offered anything special for our members yet. So you will not find us putting an affiliate link over here. Now, on the other hand, you will immediately find people doing this. They will be out there. They'll say, oh, Options Domination is great, but they recommended G options. I don't recommend them. Here is my link. Go sign up with my broker instead. Or they would say, oh, they recommend Nadex, which is actually the only one we recommend. Again, we are very clear that we recommend Nadex above everything else. It's the only one we truly endorse. And we even note about G options. And G options has made special arrangements for our members. And while we have tested them, made withdrawals, have not found any issues, we do not endorse any international broker at this time. We are very clear about it. So other people will go out there and they'll say, oh, these guys recommend Nadex. Nadex doesn't have this type of trading, the 5-minute trading or 15-minute trading or whatever. Here are my links. Go sign up with my broker instead. I guarantee that most of the people who are doing that have not put in $3 million of their own money into testing all of this stuff out. They do not have accounts of very high value at these different places. They do not have anything in writing from them proving or at least claiming, right? I mean, worst case scenario, these guys are lying to us, right? But at least they have given us in writing, like with G options, they gave us in writing that they have received 30,800, I think, something like that. I have the exact numbers in Skype, but something like 30,800 something withdrawal requests, 28,267 of which were honored and already processed. The remaining, they said, fall under categories of fraud, or the person did not provide their approval documentation, or the person had a bonus condition on their account. And that's why I'm also clarifying. Be careful about the bonus conditions. You don't want to take those bonuses unless you are okay with tying up your money for a while. Okay, so that hopefully addresses everything with the brokers. So this is a very fluid page. This will keep changing. And on top of that, keep in mind, we sometimes have vendors in DST, and if we receive feedback from you guys that these guys are pulling some shenanigans, these are not trustworthy, then we go remove them, and we will even put out a warning about them. It's the same thing here. If you give us feedback and you say, you know what, these guys are doing something funny and we can't work with them, then not only will we remove them, we actually are going to be putting a page under foundation training here, a scam list, and we will actually put them on there. And trust me, we will be able to do a very, very, very large amount of damage to them, because in most cases, our company size is already larger than the number of traders at these small brokers. Okay, so I guess long story short, first of all, Nadex is the one we recommend. Secondly, the ones that we are putting on here are ones who have had all these checks done to them personally by us. And finally, if you have any problems, let us know, and we'll go to bat for you. We will talk to these guys for you. We will let them know this guy is our member. He has been our member for the last year and a half. Don't give us the runaround that they haven't submitted the documentation or whatever the issue is. Okay, so does that answer the question about the brokers? Does that adequately address your concerns about what's going on here and what level of due diligence we are doing on our side to make sure you guys are safe?
Absolutely, that's awesome. There was something else that I thought of too while we were on the subject of of the stuff, because I know there's some experienced traders on here, so some people might want to know about lag with the signals. Is there anything to be concerned with there? Can you explain the way it works on the back end for people like inheritance?
Yes. So first of all, the lag could be an issue on the signals that you see as TMR. Those are turbo mean reversions, and you will see these are 5-minute signals. And if you take too long entering them, then you can potentially see some issues there. But it's not a lag per se. Okay, so the API firing and everything else that's going on in the background, we have already tested that it takes less than 5 seconds for the entire process to be covered, even in cases of bottlenecks. Okay, and again, I can actually show you my email account. And in my what I actually set up is whenever a signal comes in, I receive an email on my personal email about that signal being generated at the same time. So we are actually able to correlate the data. I actually come in here and I check, was the data displayed in our database at the same time as I received the email, at the same time as the API fired, and very, very happy to say that it's working very consistently. Second point is the lag would make a big difference in cases where the entry price and expiry prices are very, very close together. And you will find this on some of the signal providers. The entry price is issued as 94.867, and the exit and the expiry price was 94.869. And you're like, that was such a minute difference that it could be affected by lag. It could be the broker price is going to be different, and so on. In our case, most of the time, the expiry price is very far away from, even on 5-minute trades, it's significantly far away from the entry position. Okay, so the lag doesn't also affect that as much. Finally, you will notice that MR1 and MR2 are both end of the hour trades. Okay, these are issued within the first 5 minutes. Okay, 95% of the time they're issued within the first 5 minutes of the hour. Okay, so for example, this particular trade was issued at 5:03 with an expiry of end of the hour. That means expiry of 6 o'clock at the broker. So you have 57 minutes to enter the trade at the strike price. And you will notice that usually the price will go up and down a little bit. So you will usually be able to get a better position than this as well. Okay, so if you see the price go up above this price, then you would take a better position. Okay, now obviously this one was a loss, but we'll take this example, for example. Here we said at 2 minutes past midnight that at 1 o'clock expiry, for the 1 o'clock expiry, this is our entry price. And you could have entered this at this price or any price higher than this over the course of that hour. Okay, and you can see the substantial difference between these two. We won by a significant margin there. I think about 10 pips, right about. So it's significant enough that you shouldn't have to worry about it quite as much as you're thinking. And of course, on our side, we make sure that we do not have any troubles with lag, and we go through quite an effort to make sure that we have infrastructure in the background, that we don't have lag. And one of the reasons you guys are asking that is the issue I brought up earlier, where the other signal service that I tested, for example, the entry prices issued, they're issued based on a previous high. So the way it works is it's a very simple system. It uses multiple time frames, okay, and we have traded like this before, okay. So any trader can kind of figure out what's going on. You look at multiple time frames. Let's say you're looking at a 5-minute chart, a 15-minute chart, 5-minute chart, 1-minute chart. You're looking at all of them together. And what you do is when a new high price is created or a new low price is created by in the smallest level chart, let's say on the 1-minute chart, then a minute later you issue that high price as the entry price. That would be like me saying enter the trade at this price, okay? Now, in some ways that's legitimate because you're issuing the highest price possible, but you have naturally introduced a delay of some time there. So when you look at those signals, they come in, and you go to the broker. By the time you go to the broker, you've already missed the opportunity. You look at the broker, and the peak had already happened and passed, and that's when you look at it. And that's why there's this lag, and that might be one of the reasons why you guys are asking about the lag. But you won't see that happening over here. That's not how we work. It's very transparent. And if we actually went that way, if we actually went with the highest entry point available in that time frame and we introduced some lag to make sure that we covered our bases, then we could easily hit a higher win rate as well. And I'm being very clear about this, okay? The actual win rate over here, if you were trading blind off of these signals themselves, despite what it looks like on the page right now, I mean, it looks like a very happy, pretty green page, This is not the norm. It is not going to continue, just like a fully read page is not going to be the norm. Usually, across the board, over a period of a month, let's say, our win rate fluctuates between 62 to 65%. And that's one of the reasons why I keep insisting, look at the spreadsheet. All you need is just 61% to be profitable by $686 in the month. And you should be very, very cautious of somebody who says to you, I have a consistent 72% win rate across, I issue 50, 60 trades a day, and I have a 75% win rate. When they say that to you, and they refuse to issue these massive back tests, they refuse to issue all the data collated over the last 3 years, because I can show you data from 1 month where we had an 84% win rate. That's not sustainable though, right? That's not real. So what you can do is you can put a win rate over here, let's say of 75%, and let's say you're issuing over the course of 1 year, let's say they're issuing 50 trades a day, okay? So that's 10,000 trades roughly, we'll say over the year. And let's say that you only traded, you mortgaged your house, okay, so you have $100,000 available, so you're going to trade with $5,000 each time, okay? This is the kind of money that you would have made, okay? $17,500,000. So when somebody comes to you, I mean, please use your judgment. Somebody comes to you and says, I have a 75% consistent win rate, I issue this many trades a day. They would not be out there issuing trades like that, okay? They would be out there making all this money. And consider also that a broker would go bankrupt very, very quickly. If there was one individual generating $17.5 million off of a broker, the broker would go bankrupt because that money has to come from somewhere, all right? Or the liquidity provider will refuse to provide liquidity on that anymore. So be cautious about these kind of claims. Come on, I mean, it's the same thing that the DST is popular because we are transparent. We are very real about what you can expect. It's the same thing over here. We're very realistic about the expectations here. And the reason we move on to bigger and better things is because we don't think that you can exist in the binary options world by itself and generate $20 million a year. Okay, I don't think that's possible. I think there's a cap on the market, and that market cap makes it unrealistic to expect that we're gonna send in 20,000 traders. Okay, I mean that's pretty easily what we're expecting here in the next month or so. That we're gonna send in 20,000 traders and they're all gonna make $17 million is just a complete fantasy world. That's not how reality works. And we don't think that the market cap is sustainable. That's why we say once you're profitable and generating good amounts of money, okay, let's say 5 figures a month, you should move on to true market trades. You should move on to futures and commodities, and you should move on to even speculative trading in some cases, because the market caps there are massive. 19 trillion, for example, on just commodities one. That means that you actually have liquidity available in the market, and then on top of that, you have government-required liquidity to be provided. And I don't know how deep you guys want to go in the rabbit hole, and I can go all the way into the economic theory and what's happening in the background that ensures that there's liquidity available in the U.S. stock exchange, for example. It's there because banks are forced to provide a certain level of liquidity. And it's actually counterintuitive because all of us think, oh, the evil banks, they're manipulating the markets to rob the little guy. But if you actually look at what's happening in the background with liquidity provisions, they are actually forced to take unprofitable positions so that the little guy can profit. To give you guys an example, let's say we all know that the USD is going to crash. If we are all aware that USD is going to crash, then we would all naturally sell or short US currencies, right? We would be buying euro instead of USD and so on. But some of these major banks are actually, or liquidity providers, are actually forced by the government, and I shouldn't just say the government, they actually have these agreements with the stock exchanges and so on. They're forced to actually take the unprofitable position and buy up the USD to provide liquidity in the market. So it's kind of one of those weird situations. So again, I don't want to not waste everyone's time, but not everybody's interested in what's really happening in the financial markets, truly in the background and all that stuff. So without going into too many details about it, be cautious. I mean, just be smart about what you're doing. I mean, be smart about, apply the same test you would apply to MLMs at this point, right? There was a time when everybody thought it was okay to make the claims that MLMs claim. Now, since DST and since us coming out and saying, no, it's not okay for you to make these claims. MLMs should not be making claims that you can make $1 million a year, because you can't. You can't. If the only way you have to make money is by recruiting your grandma, or in Trent's case, by recruiting his audience from his shows, You can't. That's just wrong. You're not going to be able to make $1 million because you'll have to promise the same thing to those people, right? And it's this never-ending promise land, and in some ways that's kind of what politicians do. So, anyways, ignoring all of that, I hope that answered the question.
Yeah,
in
awesome.
a roundabout way.
Awesome. Okay, let's go back to Rick's questions.
Okay, so give me 1 second, Kevin. Do you want to continue answering Rick's question? And I just need to take a phone call really quick. It's my wife is calling from the hospital, so give me a second.
Okay. Kevin, you there?
I am here. What do you got for me?
Rick had some questions. He had like 5 questions. I can't see them, or maybe I can. I just don't know how. Do you see them?
I see one. Are there any Canadian broker listings? So anything that's overseas, when you go in the back office and you see under the brokers, all of the overseas brokers, that's kind of what we're talking about, is anything outside of the U.S. So believe it or not, I mean, in some situations, people that are overseas, I mean, you can go with G Options, Market World, Boss Capital, RB Options, and some of these platforms, and they're really great, especially in the beginning. And you can also go into Nadex, because Nadex is supported in a lot of countries overseas now, and it wasn't always that way, but as they get bigger, you can move in there. So it's not just limited to U.S. And actually, being overseas, you have a huge advantage because of the regulations. The U.S. tends to regulate a little too much at times, right? So there we go on that.
No, we didn't say that. We didn't say that. And I'm pretty sure NSA or somebody is listening. Yeah. We said nothing. We love regulation. Please make us more secure.
Yeah, I retract that statement. Let's regulate. Let's get the let's get our regulation on.
Kevin is from the military. We can't control him. We don't know we don't know why he's talking.
That's right. I'm advising veterans. The PDF says it may expose personal. Do you want to get into any compensation plan?
Yeah, we'll address the compensation plan quick too. Let me just address Rick's second question. It was, if you enroll at $49 a month and want to upgrade after a week, can you? And is there a penalty? No, there will not be a penalty. What will happen is, and again, this will all go live on the 21st. Remember that we gave a week just for DST people to get in there. So what will happen is, if you want to go and upgrade, let's say you want to go to the inheritance level or you want to go to the legacy level, you will only pay the difference. So if you're already at inheritance level and you go to enterprise, you will only pay the $100 difference, and the system will automatically recognize that. When you go to the checkout page, it will only charge you $100, but it'll keep the same date for your subscription. Okay, so it's naturally prorated as well. So there's no penalty, nothing like that. It's a very fair system. You guys don't have to worry about it whatsoever. Remember that I just said that'll go live on the 21st. Okay, so don't try that right now and say, well, it didn't work. You're a scam. The compensation plan is available once you click on this help ticket page in the PDF. Yes. Is there anything on the home page so you don't have to hunt for it? Okay, now we purposely did not put the compensation plan on the home page because again, with DST, we have kind of tried to keep the focus more on the product. Again, we're trying to keep the focus more on the product. So we did not put the PDF on the main homepage because we did not want people to think that, oh, this is a scheme for us to generate money by referring people into this thing. We wanted the focus more to be on, this is a system that generates trades and gives signals for you entering trades yourself, and that's what it's for. Okay, that's why we did not put that on there. Now, over the next months, as we see how the demand shapes and how the whole thing shapes out, we will probably make the PDF available on the homepage as well. But that's why we don't have it there. You can still go and get the PDF and get compensation details whenever you want. We will also be putting out a video specifically for the compensation plan. Okay, so you will have that too. Is there an override on the daily profits from a customer that you recruited? Okay, yes and no. So let's say that I refer Kevin, okay, and then Kevin goes out there and he starts trading like crazy and makes $1 million. I don't get any benefit out of that except the deep-seated joy, and for some people the occasional jealousy that my downline is doing so well. But in reality, there's no way for us to track that, for us to say, oh, Kevin, you made $1 million, go give 10% of that to Hitesh because he introduced you to this. It's the same thing in DST. You have noticed that your downline comes in, they make a lot of money selling on eBay, and that's a good thing, but there's no way to give an override on that. Okay. However, we have the managed account side of things. Okay. Now on the managed account, what happens is if let's say that I referred Kevin puts in some money into the managed account, I don't get any commissions on Kevin depositing money. Okay. There is no commission on people depositing money. That's not right. And I think there are legal issues as well, but on just right off the bat, it's unethical because then that would cause me to ask Kevin or pressure Kevin to put more money in. Okay, and he can afford it, but that's still wrong. But the other side is when Kevin generates profits from the managed account, from the managed trading, then I will receive a percentage of those profits. Okay, so it'll be on 2 tiers. On the first tier, you get 3%. On the second tier, you get 2%. And we are working out some details to see if we can do a third tier as well. But in what basically is happening is you are then making money on the profits of your downline as well. So I think that's overall a win-win situation. And I'll give the details for the managed account once we release it. But to just give you guys a general idea behind it, it works like this. You put money in. The money gets traded on your behalf or taken care of on your behalf with the investments and so on. There's diversity available. And you actually can choose from 3 different buckets. There are 3 different plans available there as well. You can choose from low risk, low rewards to all the way to high risk, high rewards. Obviously, we give you recommendation and ideas on how to break that up and some strategies on how to break your funds for that. And whenever money is generated from that, a percentage of that is kept aside to pay the traders who are actually trading your account. I mean, you have to admit that we should be paying those guys. Then 5% is taken out to give to the affiliate who referred you and the affiliate who referred them. Okay, and then right now it's at 2% is then taken further aside, and that goes to the company as a whole because there are a lot of costs involved just in moving the money around and payment processing, things like that, and it covers those costs. So that's what will be happening with the managed trading, and that's another source of income for an affiliate as well. Okay, but that's the general way that everything goes. Okay.
I got a quick one from somebody, Hitesh.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody wanted to know on the signals on the page, do they auto refresh on the screen on the live?
Yes.
Or do we have to refresh them?
These auto refresh. So when a new signal comes, it will come in by itself, and then it will also change its status. You do not need to refresh the page yourself. If you do refresh the page, I mean, you will still see them, but you don't need to refresh them.
And
this table will auto refresh by itself.
Okay, and the other one was, will the signals have an audible alarm?
We can put one in. We'll actually have an audible alarm and a screen shake as well. But remember, like I said, this will be coming onto your app as well. So your app will have its audible sound too. So you'll have that coming in on your app. You will have it coming in on your email. You'll be able to set that up if you want. And then yes, we can make it audible, and yes, we can make the screen shake. But our general idea is we don't want people sitting at their computers the whole time. Otherwise, we'll have to start a third MLM, which is selling like health stuff to make people walk again or something. The app will be called ODSP, Options Domination Signals Portal. Okay, and I already showed the picture of that before. You guys already saw the pictures. If you didn't see them, they are here. This is actually the app itself. Okay, this is exactly what the app looks like. Okay, so there you go.
Now I know you said that was for Android, and you know the Apple question is going to surface.
It's already in approval stages with Apple as well.
Okay.
Apple is just fun to deal with, and that's why we said that the app will be released on the 31st. It gives us plenty of time to make sure that it's actually approved and everything is working right.
Okay. There's another quick question about when somebody goes to the page to sign up, after the 21st, is there going to be a breakdown? Like, are they going to be able to click on each level and see all that it includes when they're making their decision?
Yes, so each of the levels actually has a breakdown for it, and we actually already had that done, and just in the whole thing that we've been dealing with, I think part of that isn't live right now, but all you do is when you select a level from the drop down on which level you want to start at, it'll have a little question mark next to it. You can click on that and it'll actually show you the breakdown of what's included in that. And the other thing is that each of the levels will also have their own videos. So in the back office, if you want to look at what legacy entails, you can click on legacy. It'll take you to a video, just like it happens in DST. Takes you to a checkout page, takes you to a sales page that explains how things work and what this is, what you get for it. And it's a very straightforward thing, right? It's just so common sense, because once you put it out there, that look, in legacy you get 18 trading sessions. Okay, that's a $280 value right off the bat. Not counting the extra signals, not counting the managed trading as that comes out, not counting any of the other things. You have $280 worth of trading sessions right off the bat. And you can actually transfer those trading session credits to somebody else if you want. You can transfer that to somebody else. You can give them the account to trade on, and they can attend the session on your behalf too. So just that alone, and the fact you're making more money from the matrix, you have more opportunity as an affiliate, just all of those things. I mean, they kind of make it a no-brainer to go there. And then I'll give you guys one really fun side effect of how well legacy works. So I'm going to employ all my psychic resources for a moment, and I'm just going to purely guess from just pulling this out of thin air from the signals I'm getting from you guys. Kenya, you're at legacy level.
Yes.
Right? Yes. See, I'm good at this. And Trent, you're at legacy level too.
Absolutely.
Okay, awesome. So you can see that today the force is strong with me. But the point what I'm getting at is now Kenya and Trent, you guys are at the top, right, in the company, because you're one of the first people who were imported, because you were leaders and you're actually some of the top people in DST. So you are at the top, right? Now remember what happens in the matrix structure. So the way the matrix structure works, the tri-matrix works, is the first matrix has all of these rich snobby people on top, right? Like Kenya and Trent and so on. So these, hey, I'm just using the popular rhetoric at the moment. So let's say that this is Kenya and this is Trent and this is Kevin. Okay, let's just assume that these guys are up here. Okay, look at them sitting perched high top on their little matrices, making all this money off the little guy. These legacy people right here. Okay, they're all legacies. Okay. Now look what happens though, right? When the matrix flips over and this second matrix happens, okay, we will call Mr. X here. Okay, Mr. X here is sad because he's like, why are these guys above me? Now when the matrix flips over, now suddenly X is on top, and then Kevin, and then Trent and Kenya are below them. Now remember, these three are already legacy members. We've basically guaranteed in a way that the little guy is going to have legacy members in their matrix. So the fun part is, this is totally a side effect. Okay, this wasn't designed to do it, but this is a natural side effect. It's maybe an unintended side effect of this. So remember that Kenya, Trent, and Kevin have people below them who can't necessarily afford legacy. Okay, so they actually are making slightly less from the matrix. But when this matrix flips over, X has in his matrix people who already have legacy, who have bought legacy. So in many cases, and this is borne out by the simulations I've run, in many cases the top earner in M3 and M2 makes more than the top earner in M1, because the person in matrix 2 who's at top has far more legacy users in their matrix than the person in the standard matrix. So it's really fun, because when you're a legacy user, like, you have to understand the benefit of becoming a legacy member is you are going to naturally make more money, because when the matrix flips, the guys on top are below you and you know they have legacy. So you're going to make 7 times the money from them being in the matrix than you would if you were at inheritance level. So it's this very cool little bonus that you get for not being a leader. And I feel sad for them right now, but I think that should also make you very excited, right? Because now look at the side effect of this though. Now here's what happens. Let's continue what happens. Now X realizes this whole scenario when he's in M2, and he goes, I really should have legacy, because next month I would probably make more, if not from M2 then from M3. So X goes ahead and gets legacy. Okay, now suddenly Kenya, Trent, and Kevin have another person on here in their matrix who is also now a legacy member. And the system as a whole, the entire company really benefited, because X is making more money from these big guys, While at the same time, now these big guys are going to start making more too because X has become a legacy member. So it's a really fun little loop that keeps going on, and I think is going to result in a very kind of viral thing that's going to happen. It's going to cause a lot of people to recognize that here's why I really should upgrade quickly, because my cost is already offset by the matrix. If I just have 10 people in my matrix who are at the legacy level, that's already $70 offset from my membership fees. And then I have $280 worth of trading sessions, right? So I have $280 in trading sessions, and I have $70 coming in from the matrix, but my fees are only $399. So at this point, I'm really only paying $49 for legacy, which is the same as paying that for inheritance. And that's assuming you're not trading. I mean, shoot, you should be trading and making more than that just from the signals and the live trading and so on. So it's a really, it's just really fun. I just love studying this more and more, because the more you run simulations and you look at what's happening, it's interesting, because when I saw this, it was kind of confusing, because I was like, why is M2 almost always making more money than M1? Why was that happening? And then M3 would oftentimes make more money than M1 as well. And so it was funny, just looking at that, trying to figure out why that situation was occurring. And this is why it was occurring, because M2 people were people at the bottom who had the top people under them who all already had legacy. And it just, the cycle perpetuates itself. So it's a very beautiful thing to see it in action.
That's insane. I mean, that is crazy.
It is
amazing crazy.
All right, so I want to toss something out there real quick, going along the lines on this. And it's an audio I plan on putting out there, but think about this. Think about every other MLM you've been in, every company that you've been in. What do we do, guys? Okay, what do? We draw lines in the sand, and we say, I'm on top team, and you're on dream team, and things of that nature, right? You draw lines in the sand, and you help the people on your team to help the people that you recruit. Typically, that's what happens outside of DS. We're really good about helping each other. Options domination, think about it. Blur those lines, get rid of those lines, because everyone that comes in the company, as you just saw, is going to in some way either benefit you financially or benefit one of your referrals financially because of the way the matrices flip. So this whole idea that we have to have the best tools and the best this and the best that just to recruit people, and we're only going to help our people, can go out the window. Keep doing what leaders can keep doing what they're doing and having great teams and great tools and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, the lines are blurred in the sand, and you can help everybody, knowing that you're going to financially benefit from that as well. So just want to toss that out.
I love that. I love that. That's my favorite.
Awesome.
And I love this drawing right here. Look at that. Those are definitely lines in sand. Yeah, that's great.
So, and this is the fun thing about this. So the whole, like you said, Kevin, this is so true. The entire company benefits. Everybody in the company is benefiting. It's kind of like how in the whole economy, in macroeconomics, when you have positive economic growth, when you have positive productivity of the so-called rich, it actually increases the total potential for everybody. It actually increases the economic pie size, and it makes things better for those who are not as well off as well. Okay, that's kind of the idea behind it. The same thing is happening here, but because we're integrated with DST, it's having this backwards effect where that's actually playing into DST as well. I know, for example, there's been a couple of people who are not even in Dream Team who have been like, oh, you know what, I'm so impressed with Dream Team, we want to work with Dream Team. They're separate from it, and they're still coming in and actually working with you guys to give extra training and to give more content for your teams and things like that. It's been very interesting to watch. Actually, I mean, we have been watching from the sidelines a little bit, just watching how you guys have been doing it. It's been really, really encouraging to see that, and just been very impressive.
Yeah, they're talking about Dion and Jim, and I mean, those guys are just amazing. And even, the guys Dion works with, like Nathan and those guys, they actually came and met our team when a few of us were at a business conference, and they did a little mini training for us, and they're just amazing, and we really appreciate them, and we want to give back to them too. So I love the community we have.
Yeah, and it's true. Just a little side note. I mean, Dion, Nathan, I mean, all of these guys are such such incredibly helpful people, even in real life, not just in terms of, I'll help you on eBay or work with you in that setting, but just in real life as well. I mean, I've actually been able to see them up front because I lived in California, like 15 minutes away from them for 6 months. And just, you get to see a person's behavior over time. They're very, very impressive people in life, okay? Not just in training and not just good at selling on eBay or Amazon, just very good people in life as well. So I actually have a little surprise for them in here as well once everything is rolled out, just as a thank you for everything that they did when we were there. And then, at the same count, we actually have a little bit of surprise for you guys as well, just because, like we said, we've been very impressed with the way you guys have conducted yourself. And like we said, there's other leaders that are the same way. They're really nice, who worked with their teams and worked across with other teams as well. And we've been very impressed. And you guys know that there's been a long process that's now been a little bit stretched out about this website for the Dream Team. Okay, there's a special website for Dream Team where we have API integrations, and you guys get all this fun stuff that's all connected within DST and Options Domination together. And so what we'll be doing is we're actually going to finish working on that site for you guys, and we're going to actually be including 2 really neat little tools in there so that people who are logged into the Dream Team website will be able to monitor all of their stats from Options Domination and DS Domination within their Dream Team website. Okay, so when, let's say, you are logged in, Kenya, you'll be able to see your team size, your earnings in DS Domination, your earnings in Options Domination, any new trades that have come out in Options Domination, they'll be streamed onto the Dream Team site directly. So you guys can, just have this one location that you can use as your hub and manage your entire e-commerce side of things and manage your options side of things as well. So hopefully that's helpful and works things out for you guys.
Oh, that's amazing. That's incredible. Thank you so much.
You rock,
I'm
man.
excited.
You're welcome.
Oh my goodness. As soon as we get this out, the site, the things we're going to be able to do for the team are just going to multiply incredibly because of the whole API thing. So thank you so much for all of your hard work on that. I mean, Hitesh just approached Trent and I one day and said, hey, let me help you with a site. And we're like, okay. So we're very excited about it. Yeah, I mean, everybody behind this, Jason and Kevin and Roger and Hitesh. I mean, I know Roger's not a part of OD, but, just the caliber of the people that we are working with, guys, is you won't find it very often in life. So, just you're in good company right here. We're very thankful.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for having us. And I want to just clarify one thing very quick. Roger is actually in Options as well.
Yes.
He's an affiliate just the same way that Kevin and I are. But one of the things is that right now we have Roger focusing a little bit more on the DST side because we do need there to be some more management there as well. So yeah. we are trying to make it so that just before this webinar, just before the event especially, we have all the stuff finished up. So we have Roger's been very busy, going out, dealing with the vendors and making relationships with them and things like that. I've been busy with obviously this option stuff and then coding out the new things for DST 2.0. And I saw that question in the passing, so I'll just address that quick. We will be discussing and releasing DST 2.0's new affiliate rankings 2 weeks from now. Okay, and the reason we're doing it 2 weeks from now is because we had to put out options, and there are a couple other things that need to be dealt with within our DST structure as a whole, and then we'll have all of the DST 2.0. So I've been busy with that. Kevin has been doing a complete overhaul of Market Extreme, and he's been the anchor point kind of for options for a lot of people. He's been putting up all the information. So it's been very much a team effort.
Yeah, it's a team effort.
So it's wonderful. It's exactly like you guys. So that's why when we see you guys in action, it's really good because it also inspires us to conduct the whole company the same way because we see you guys all working together. There are no distinctions being made. It's more like we are all working together. Let's all build something together that, as a system, gets good results for the end user. So that's what we're all about. All right. So there's that. Everything addressed. You guys have been awesome. Thank you for having us over, and hopefully we addressed, everything that needed to be addressed. And we look forward to seeing you guys on Options Domination webinars. There is an Options Domination webinar coming up at the end of this week. We're going to introduce you to some of the team, the trades. We're going to roll out a couple of things, and it'll just be great fun all around. So look forward to seeing you guys there. And if you guys have any other questions, ask Kenya. Don't ask us. And we will see you around.
Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us tonight, you guys. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, guys. You rock.
Thank you.